What up, though? This is your boy Mike D, host of Wrestling from the 313, and we are live tonight. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and we are on Twitch. So if you're on any of those platforms, make sure you watch, make sure you follow. And my guest here on the Roundtable first, he is out in Vancouver, Canada. He's been on Wrestling from the 313. This is his fourth time now. His first appearance is the most viewed episode of Wrestling from the 313. Big Sam, what's going on? You all right?
Guys, everything is beautiful. Loving it. Thank you for having me on, Mike D. Much respect.
For sure. And my next guest, he's a co-owner of the Wrestling Society Network. And I call him the Burt Sugar of professional wrestling because he that man knows everything about professional wrestling. Professor Bear, what's going on?
Nothing much. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Chilling. Just getting ready for this Royal Rumble week. And Joe Monroe is also joining us. I don't know what happened to his feed. We'll get him back on if he comes back on. So, real quick, guys, what's been up with y'all? What's been new? And I forgot Professor Bear. He has the Bear's Thought podcast. So make sure you all check him out. And what's been up, fellas?
Man, just staying busy. I started a thing where I'm going around to a lot of independent shows. I'm popping up, handing out swagger, just trying to get out there and help promote more of indie wrestling. 3 weeks now ago, me and Joe met up first time, saw him wrestle, amazing. And just trying to keep this positive train going on wrestling.
That's what's up. And real quick, you went to the AEW show. What was it, last week?
Yep, last Wednesday. And truthfully, I wasn't gonna go. I just wasn't in the right headspace. And my daughter's boyfriend talked me into it. And I'm so glad I went. Now, yes, their crowd has dwindled down, but I am telling you, they were loud. The biggest pop wasn't even Kenny or Will Ospreay. The biggest pop of the night was the Hurt Syndicate. I had never seen a tag team that was supposed to be heels get that much love in my life.
That's what's up. What's been up with you, Sam?
Dude, same old, just grinding away, just collecting content, making content, putting it out to the people, to the masses. I mean, we're not just a wrestling show, we're a boxing podcast as well. So, we got our hands full with both those beautiful art forms. And, the sweet science is near and dear to my heart. So this has been a busy week. Not only is it Royal Rumble, we got David Benavidez and David Morrell fighting this weekend as well. First big major card, that we have coming up this weekend. So, we got all that coverage going on. And we're talking Rumble, we're talking Raw. The wheels just keep moving, man. We're not stopping.
That's what's up. And we got him back on the feed. He's also part of the Wrestling Society Network. Joe Monroe, what's going on, man?
Not much, brother. What you been into?
Oh, man, just trying to stay warm, man. It's been I've been feeling like I'm in a freezer here in Michigan, man. It's been cold the last 2 weeks, but it's been warming up, man. So yeah, I'm good.
It was like that here in Kentucky, and I think it was cold down there in Tennessee for Bear. My family just came in from Detroit, so by the way, I'll be seeing you in the summertime, Mike. I'll be hitting you up soon.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, man, it's been I would say it's been great, but the past month it's not been so great. Most people know my biological father passed away all of a
My
sudden.
condolences, bro.
Condolences. Sorry to hear that.
Massive heart attack, man. It was just his time to go home.
Sure.
But I got something to announce a little later on. I don't want to bring the mood down, so let's just get right into it, man. We're going to talk about the Rumble tonight. We got a lot of things you got planned for us. So, Mike, let's get it on, brother. Come on.
All right, let's do
Nothing but
that.
respect, brother. Nothing but respect.
For sure. Real quick, we got some comments. We got Mayhem Media. What's going on, JD? We also got on YouTube Williams Wrestling. He say, "What it do? What up, though?" Mayhem Media replies, "Big fan of boxing."
Ma'am, check out the podcast, bro.
Appreciate
and also
that,
JD so offering his condolences. Appreciate that, JD. All right, real quick, fellas, let's get it started. So far, Raw's on Netflix. It's been a big buzz on it and everything. Start with you, Joe. What do you think of Raw on Netflix so far?
I know a lot of people, well, the trolls in the comments section, as I like to call them, are not liking it. I'm loving it. I think it's different. I think WWE has needed to go this route for at least the past 2 years. They're finally catching up with the times as they always do. I don't know about Netflix though, but hey, if a deal's a deal, and the new setup, the new ref uniforms, that shocked me. That's one thing I was like, whoa, okay. I guess we're going to this, and I think they're even doing it on SmackDown too. So I'm like, okay, they're doing something different. I'm liking it. It shows dawn of a new era. So this is pretty cool. At least it's not bow ties, thank goodness. But hey, whatever. But yeah, Raw on Netflix. I didn't get to catch it last night. Been dealing with some stuff, but I was actually probably going to catch up later and watch it. But it's been pretty good so far. I'm surprised.
That's what's up. What you think about it, Sam?
Well, to be honest, I mean, the Netflix move is good. The WWE has always been the forefront of kind of starting new trends. I mean, if you think about it, they're really, at the end of the day, they're the reason Vince McMahon, think what you may of him, but pay-per-view is pay-per-view because of him. It really didn't exist until he said, "I'm going to do pay-per-view." Before that, it was always closed circuit. Then Vince decided, "I'm going to start my own network." Look at all the platforms that are out now after him, right? I mean, the man, say what you want, atrocities aside, but the man is a genius, right? And, this move to Netflix was his last move that he made. He finalized it. He made it happen. He closed the deal before everything kind of went down and he kind of disappeared from the picture. So again, all of this is, a testament to the direction that they're moving in and, being the forefront of it all. Raw on Netflix itself, the first episode, in my opinion, was amazing because it was new. It was fresh, right? It was almost a reintroduction to all the lost fans that weren't watching wrestling anymore. The only thing that I probably would have had a problem with was that Gunther wasn't showcased. The champions of the shows weren't showcased on that introduction program. You can't have your world champion standing in the crowd when you're starting something fresh like that. He should have been on there. And as my partner would say, that just shows that, the lack of importance that they showed to the titles. I like, this, you know what I mean? So I can see where Chance is coming from in a lot of the things that he says when he says these things. Since then, the show's been okay. I have no complaints with it, but I mean, it's not been anything spectacular. It hasn't been anything great. It's been raw, right? I mean, we see the changes. You got all the advertisers on the mat now. I don't think that's a WWE thing. I think that's a TKO and a Netflix thing. If you've noticed, the Prime is gone. There's no Prime shown anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, I brought this up on my show, and I'm going to bring it up to you guys to think about. Realistically, with Riyadh season being on the mat as well. And you notice that whenever they do a show in Saudi Arabia, his stuff's not displayed there either. I know he still has a contract with TKO because they do the Prime stuff at UFC. But isn't it interesting, since the Netflix move, there's no sign of Prime anywhere?
Nah.
Except for Logan Paul himself. Watch all the episodes. You'll notice there's no little drink stand that used to be in the corner.
Yeah.
There's no Prime logo on the mat anywhere. It's completely disappeared.
Well, and I think the reason for that is he Prime wasn't moving anything, to be truthful, and you got better companies that pay more money than Prime to get that spot. I honestly think that the Prime was just a tester to see how things would go, and they liked it so much. Then okay, we're doing these other ones, and now we can take Prime off the mat, move that ugly cart. But that's just the way I feel about it.
Fair enough. Well, I just find it really interesting. Like, these kind of little subtle changes like that. That's what I'm noticing the most. Like, I like the new matte color. I love that. I think it's really cool. But in terms of the product itself, honestly, outside of the first episode, we're basically just watching Raw on Netflix. It hasn't really, really changed, right? I mean, that's just my take on it.
Yeah. What you think, Professor Bear?
Well, I was actually thinking I was going to be the only one that says thinks this way, but clearly I'm not. I mean, honestly, I hadn't been impressed. It hadn't been anything like, oh wow, it's just the greatest. No, the first episode was like any other where they bring back all the old wrestlers and bring them out. So I was like, yeah, this is just Raw. It's on Netflix, and I mean, now don't get me wrong. They have some product. Some of the stuff they're doing is good, even great. Like the New Day stuff, I love. I think the only thing is they should make them win. There's no way they should be losing to Rey Mysterio, because it was show the audience they had a point of getting rid of Big E, and it will make the fans hate them even more. That besides the other stuff, it's just Raw. Like Samson said, it's just Raw. But I will say this. The one thing that just really irks me, and I know I'm definitely not the majority. I'm so sick of hearing about Jey Uso and how great he is. Because Jey Uso, don't get me wrong, I love him and his brother as a tag team. They are the top 5 in the world. But Jey only has Yeet. That's it. He's getting over by his catchphrase. Now, his work rate, it is not bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a terrible wrestler, but all this, everything everybody keeps saying about him, and he's going to win. Do y'all realize the only reason they gave him the Intercontinental Championship is because Yeet was over? They're like, Triple H was like, hey, you know what? We really got to do something with him. So we'll give him the Intercontinental title for 3 weeks, and he can say he was a singles champion.
Actually, hang on. Didn't Michael Cole incorrectly say he never won a singles title on one of the Raw?
Yep.
Well, and
I'm used champion. I'm used to Michael screwing something up because he gets so excited. And worse than Jey Uso is Michael Cole Yeaton. Somebody needs to throw something at him. Every time he gets up. Look, Corey Graves should come and drop kick him and Uh,
Yeah, but and pardon the pun, but Corey Graves dug his own grave.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like let's be realistic, and I know we talked about this on our show as well. And Chance and I believe we were both in agreement on this. There's 15 jobs in the entire world like that, and you have
right.
one of them, right? And if you think about it, I mean, this guy's can we cuss?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
This guy's a whiny little bitch, honestly. because let's be honest, man. Think about it. You've had all the opportunities given to you in the world. Greatest, I'm not saying they're the greatest, but legends like Jim Ross. How many times was he fired and came back? Jerry the King Lawler, how many times was he fired and came back? Like if that's what the greats get. Corey Graves, you know what the reality is, and and I'm piggybacking off Chance here a little bit. It shows that you're not that as good as you think you are, right? I mean, if he was good, they would have put him on one of the programs. They would have made a 3-man booth somewhere if this was the case. In a way, you go where you're supposed to go, and you do what you're supposed to do, especially at that level, man. Like one problem I have with wrestlers, you get to the highest platform, and with all the organizations out there, respect to them all, but what's the highest level? WWE.
Yeah.
Right? Yeet. Right? So, right? You get to that level, you embrace it. You've worked your backsides off. Like guys like Kenny Omega, guys like MJF, they're amazing names, right? But you know what? They'll never be globally known until they get a shot and a run in the WWE, in my opinion.
I could agree with that, and just to piggyback, anybody that leaves AEW, it seems like they get a big presentation or seem like they turn into a bigger star. Look at what's been happening with Penta in the last couple of weeks. The way they've been presenting him, like you would think he was a world champion. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, but it goes the other way too. Everyone who leaves WWE and goes to AEW, majority of them are all mid carders, man. With all due respect, they're not main eventers. You look at Ricochet, for example. If he didn't have WWE in his back pocket, what would he look like in AEW otherwise?
No,
The only guy, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, Professor and Joe and Mike. You look at Bobby Lashley. In my opinion, him and Daniel Bryan are the only two names that went over there that could carry their weight, regardless.
yeah,
Right? Everyone else that came from WWE. Rusev, all of them, they're all mid-carders, and they only got that rub and that name attention because of where they came from.
Is Rusev even still with AEW?
What's that?
Is he even still with AEW?
Well, see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They're not utilizing him.
yeah, they're not using him. Yep.
They're not using him. They're not, in my opinion, they're not using the Hurt Business properly.
I want to say that.
Right? They put the straps on him, but they're basically doing exactly what they were doing in WWE. Why is Shelton Benjamin looking like a clown again?
Well, and I was going to bring that up with Shelton. It's a 50-50 thing for me because the matches he's been putting on and just, man, blown away. He has looked like $1 billion.
Yes.
But you have too many different storylines going with, and you can't slot them into a mid-card title because you got too much going on. The first thing they were about to do to Shelton was going to give him the TNT title. Then they snatched him out of it because their tag team champions, Private Party, and no disrespect to them, but they got screwed. Oh, how many tag teams have you known to get the tag titles and get screwed over? I mean, the Private Party didn't defend. They always sat up somewhere drinking. They only had 2 defenses of the title until, if you want to call the run through the Hurt Syndicate did to them a defense, they had 3 title defenses.
Mhm.
And the 2 that they wrestled before, it was just like, man, this is like, I feel like I'm watching jobbers.
Yeah, well,
No, I will, and honestly, again, no disrespect in there, but hell, I would have preferred the Outrunners with the title. At least I know what their gimmick is, and they lived up to it.
well, man, the problem with AEW is just no continuity, and I try really, really hard to watch this program every week. And I think, we talked about this on our show in the recording that we did this morning for today. The best stuff that happens at AEW is on the program that no one watches. Collision, right?
And Ring of Honor, if I may add, Samson.
Yeah,
and Ring of Honor, right? But people tune into Dynamite, and it's completely discombobulated. I consider myself a pretty big wrestling fan. I know who most of the players are. Maybe New Japan, maybe Independence, whatnot. But a lot of time, I'm watching AEW, and I'm like, who is this guy? Who's this guy? Why is this match happening?
I think the problem with me with AEW is like they got good matches, but they don't have good stories. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really what it is, because I could sit there and watch some of their matches and it'd be like, damn, they didn't went rope to rope for a good 20-25 minutes. But then you got the next story, Jeff Jarrett and MJF in a promo. Why?
Well, no. But that
He didn't waste
promo
it like
was.
He didn't waste it like 6 months with Adam Cole. Now you about to waste another 3 weeks with Jeff Jarrett. And it's just like, and that's just even with the Hurt Syndicate. Me personally, I would have used them. I would have been doing some recruiting. I would have, honestly, this was been their opportunity to recruit maybe some of the top black wrestlers on the roster. You know what I'm saying? Have it how it was supposed to be in the WWE. Do that in AEW. Bobby Lashley's supposed to be competing for the world title. Shelton Benjamin's supposed to be for the international title. This would have been a good chance to have Private Party in the Hurt Syndicate, kind of turn their character around a little bit to have that, you know what I'm saying, that look like the rest of them. And I definitely agree that they are dropping the ball on that group.
Well, they're dropping the ball. Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
I think what AEW's main issue is their injuries are like crazy. Yeah. And then they have to stop storylines, go this way, go that way. So like y'all said, there's no consistency in anything. And then they try to come back and pick it up. And people are like, man, I don't care now. It's over.
Right. Now, Professor, if I may very quickly intervene here, what you said is the biggest problem in AEW. And I go back to when Daniel Bryan was there still and William Regal was still there. Okay. What these guys were doing for the younger talent, because if you think about it, man, AEW is basically a very rich indie promotion. Okay. All the guy, and I'm not taking a shot at the indies at all. Don't get me wrong. Everyone has to get their work in and do what they have to do. But the reality is psychology is lost on this generation of wrestlers, in my opinion. Right? Less is why are there so many injuries happening in AEW? Because every match is just high spot after high spot after high spot. There's no psychology. Kevin Nash. You get more of a reaction of picking up the guy off the mat and looking at the crowd than you would, they're getting the same kind of reaction from doing a Hurricanrana off the top of the cage onto a burning table with barbed wire. You're going to get the same reaction, right? And they're causing their own problems in that sense. William Regal and Daniel Bryan had set up a thing where they had told all the wrestlers to come. We will teach. We will learn. A free opportunity. Who would not want to sit under that learning tree if you're an athlete? But most of this younger talent didn't want to do it because of the arrogance that they have. They think high spot, right?
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of all the problems are happening.
especially Regal, man. I mean, you got to think that's 30 plus years in the business. Probably one of the best technicians in the business, if I may say so.
Minds.
Yeah, and probably the greatest psychology. But I have to disagree with you. I don't think that's the biggest problem. Okay. Mike, you know what I'm about to say. Uncle Tony needs to lay off the Colombian Bam Bam for a little bit, get his head on straight, and then maybe hire some people with common sense. Or actually, you know what? He does have people hired that has common sense. Let them take over the show for a little bit, bud.
All the people he hired were the guys that were running WCW, by the way.
Fair enough, but still.
I was going to say that. I say it like this. As a wrestling fan, I've been a wrestling fan for over 40 plus years. I've been blessed to watch some of the greatest angles, some of the worst promotions. I've seen a lot of stuff happen. But even with my knowledge of wrestling, if I got, say, I just hit the lottery, get billions of dollars. If I started a wrestling company, I'm going to get people around who know how to do the wrestling company and stop trying to be so much in the, not trying to be, but in the spotlight. Because Tony Khan needs to, like you said, less is more. Stop showing up on in front of the shows every single time and thanking the crowd. You don't have to. You can send out one tweet. Thank you. Let people who have the knowledge of doing it do it and stand up to be an owner. As much as we don't care for Vince McMahon and all the other crap, the one thing you can't say Vince ever did was not be an owner. And that was important.
Here's the thing. Everything Vince ever did was with his money. Tony is playing with daddy's money.
Yeah.
Tony is playing with TV contracts because of the sport entities that they have. They would not have TBS. They would not be on HBO Max if they didn't own the Jacksonville Jaguars, if they didn't own Fulham in the UK. Right? Let's just be realistic. You're playing with dad's money. Now, Joe, you're an indie wrestler, correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask you a question then? Because the conversations that I've had with some of the indie guys here in Vancouver, when you talk to them, the boys are the boys and the money is the money.
Right.
Is that fair?
That's business. Yeah. There's a fine line between business and friendship and hanging out with your pals. Right. When it comes down to it in wrestling, it's business.
So the boys will always be with the boys regardless of how much Tony's throwing into it, right?
Unless he does something extremely dumb, then the boys band together and try to do an insurrection. I'm going to have to say yes.
Okay. I'm not sure. I think they already have done the insurrection because no one listens to him.
You got a fair point.
Okay. I mean, you think about it, they're in my opinion, just based on the knowledge that I've gained from you tonight, and from the boys that I've talked to here locally, we've had guys from Vancouver who went to Portugal and South America, Uruguay, I believe it was. Paraguay or Uruguay, one of the two. Anyways, the guy there had the money. He wanted to be with the boys, this and that, and they, but at the end of the day, the boys are going to do what the boys are going to do.
Right.
Right. As long as the money guy's there, that's great. But as soon as he doesn't provide anything, he's not interesting anymore.
Whenever you're doing something like that, let me pull back the curtain just a little bit.
Sure.
What is supposed to happen in this business as a wrestler? What's the finish? What's the beginning? What's the finish? We'll work out the middle. And I believe, don't get me wrong, the beginning and the finish is important. I think personally the most important thing is right there in the middle. Why? Because you got to keep those fans interested from beginning to the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been taught. And so far it's true. And I think that's where AEW kind of loses, some folks. They go off fast and furious at the start. Then right in the middle, kind of slack a little bit. Then it's like the finish is like that and it's over. Okay, what was the story with this match?
But there are no stories.
Exactly.
Well,
What's
well,
going on here?
well,
The only, the
it
only
depends
story.
on who's wrestling.
Now, the only
Because,
people. Sorry, Barrett. The only.
and the reason I say that is Daniel Bryan has that style. He can tell a story. Kenny Omega can tell a story. There's wrestlers that's on the roster that know how to tell a story. But then you have the ones that are, okay, when I come out, I'm gonna hit you with 6 current ranas, and I'm gonna DDT you. You're gonna DDT me 7 times, and you go for the pin. I'm gonna kick out at 1, and then I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna flip on some fans, run across to the other building, jump off the roof, and do this, and then you only get a 2 count. And it's like, what the hell? What?
That sounds like a Darby Allin match.
Exactly. but I will say with Darby, with everything he does, he has a way where he tells his story just a little different than most. Now, I've seen people try to do the same as Darby and look garbage. I just like, man, give me a refund. This is look. I'm 51 years old. I have back surgery 2 times. I could go in the ring and do a better damn job than you.
If I may, guys. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
It's like you said, people that know what they're doing. I would put Shelton Benjamin in that category. For one, he was under the greatest minds when he started out doing pro wrestling, let alone he has a major amateur background. Then the first 2 matches, you're like, my God, this guy should. People were saying, put the AEW world title on him right now. I'm like, yeah, because he knows what the heck he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's pretty sad. You were saying, like, this guy, granted, I think WWE kind of dropped the ball on him, but I understand there was others that were just a little bit better than Shelton.
Well, okay, you know what? You look at Ricochet as well. You're talking about dropping the ball here. Like if you could have all the opportunity in the world, and the WWE will give you the opportunity, but if you don't resonate with the fans,
that's true.
I mean, that's what it really comes down to. You look at some of these guys and all the opportunities that they've been given. Like, look at Baron Corbin, all the gimmicks he's been given, all the TV time he's been given. But I like Baron. I think he's great. Don't get me wrong. But you know what? If you don't resonate with the fan base, you can get all the pushes in the world, man.
Well, I have to disagree with you humbly because there are some wrestlers who went and got the fans of super over. 2 people right off my head is Zack Ryder. He was just hot. Rusev, when they were trying to we can't do nothing with you. Rusev Day blew the place out the water.
Yeah.
And the reason why they didn't get pushed, it wasn't because of the fans, it was because Vince didn't help push them. Vince has had a problem with you getting over without his help. If he had certain guys like Roman, now when the Shield first came up, I was a big Roman fan. Then they broke up, and then he started doing the holy succotash stuff and wouldn't let him show any real personality. So they would just keep driving. So everybody got tired of it. Then finally, they let him be himself. And don't get me wrong, Paul helped that. But he became himself and was able to do more with his own natural characteristics. It hit them.
In the case of Roman Reigns, if I may, if it wasn't for the pandemic and if it wasn't for the Thunderdome crowd, he still wouldn't have been over today. Because there were no fans in there, it allowed him to actually become what we see today. There was no interference, right? I mean, you look at the Yes movement. If the crowd wasn't behind the Yes movement the way it was, that Yes movement wouldn't have happened. Okay, if the crowd wasn't behind Kofi Kingston the way they were, Kofi Mania would never have happened. If the crowd was there because of the hatred that they had for the man, because everyone felt that he was being shoved down our throats, right? No matter
Right.
what he did, even if he joined up with Paul Heyman, I guarantee you, we would not have had the story arc that we had in the last 3 years. It's that Thunderdome, it's the crowd not being there in that controlled environment that allowed him to become what he became, in my opinion. Um, again, look again, look at the crowd reaction, the internet wrestling community, whatever these guys are called, the basement keyboarders. All those guys complained about Cody Rhodes and The Rock and everything, and that changed the direction completely. Chance always talks about it. You know what I mean? And it's a fact. It's real there, man. I mean, the crowd dictates so much of what we see now and has been that way, where they have to abandon plans that were initially made. Now, granted, they made it work and they made it work, and it worked out fine, in my opinion, right? But the reality is, that's the thing, man. Without that pandemic, nothing good about it, but it was a great thing for wrestling and some of the characters that they needed to develop.
Yeah. Real quick, did you want to make the last comment, Joe?
No, we pretty much said it all. I mean, and I'll say it in the nutshell for people who don't understand, common sense. Please, Tony, for the love of all that's great in professional wrestling, get your head on straight, man, before you lose your company.
Yep.
The only thing that's going to make him lose his company, man, is when his dad realizes, like, if Jacksonville actually starts playing good football, and if Fulham actually starts playing good football, and then you can actually turn around and see what his son's doing with his money, then maybe he'll start to realize, dude, all his dad's going to pull the plug on him. Then what's he going to do? Right?
Yeah.
Before we move on, I just have one question for you guys. What is the best thing, in your guys' opinion, and I'll share mine as well, that isn't going on in AEW right now?
That isn't going on in AEW?
That is going on right now. Like, what's the
that
best
is?
character? The best thing I like that you enjoy?
Honestly, I'm liking the timeless Tony Storm stuff.
My man.
Yeah.
That collision was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
A show that nobody watches. Like I said, everything good happens on Collision. The lowest rated program that they have is producing the best content. The shit that she did this weekend was phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
No, it was timeless. Get it right.
It's timeless, absolutely. Right? I mean, just like, I kind of saw where the story was going, but the way she pulled it off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? Just all of it. Like, everything she's done. And in our year in review, I picked her as Female Wrestler of the Year. She's just blowing my mind. She's one of those characters that should probably go back to the WWE pretty soon.
I would say she's number 2, because the number 1 women's wrestler in my mind, Athena. She runs ROH, and I don't know what in the hell Tony will not put her on AEW. It's just stupid.
Well, I mean, they chose them as well. Like, I mean, they didn't give her much of a chance in WWE either, though, right? I mean,
right.
For those who don't know, she was Ember Moon over there.
Had one of the best theme songs in NXT.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I will say NXT's got the best women's division in wrestling.
Oh, I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
All right.
Something gets lost when these ladies and men come up from the NXT into the main roster. I don't know what it is, but hopefully they can fix that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, y'all, real quick. Let's talk about the WWE TNA crossover deal. They signed a multi-year deal where TNA wrestlers will go to WWE and vice versa. It sounds like it's going to be like an NXT TNA thing, but I think eventually we might see some TNA stars on the main roster. So real quick, Professor Bear, what do you think about the crossover deal?
When I heard about it, the first thing came to mind was they're about to purchase TNA. That's just me. Because if you look at the history of WWE teaming up with somebody, 9 times out of 10, they end up purchasing that company. And I think it's good to put eyes on TNA. It gives them more of a chance because, I mean, look at their pay-per-view when they announced on Friday. Man, they just sold it out. And I told somebody, I said, it's gonna two things I know that's gonna happen. I said, one, JBL is gonna come and clothesline from hell. He's gonna knock the hell out of somebody. And two, you're gonna keep getting TNA wrestlers popping up and stuff. And I think it can be a good thing for TNA, but in the end, I think they're just gonna end up getting bought out, and that'll be Triple H's new NXT.
Yeah, I've been hearing little rumors about that also, that they could possibly do that.
Okay.
What do you think about it, Sam?
Well, honestly, I think it's more of a, you guys aren't wrong. All those are all great possibilities, absolutely. But I feel that it was more of a strategy movement on behalf of the company, in the sense that you get TNA in all the markets that you were in on public TV. Like, for example, here in Canada, all WWE content was shown on a station called Sportsnet. Okay. So we in Canada we have TSN and we have Sportsnet, ESPN, Fox, right? TSN is more of the ESPN of Canada. Most of the ESPN programming is affiliated with them. Fox Sports and Sportsnet are kind of connected to one another. But WWE had all the rights to Sportsnet for Canada.
Okay.
Now TNA is on Sportsnet. Okay. Now, if you look at the global markets where WWE was, now that they're not because of the Netflix deal, TNA is now going to be popping up on all those things. So this, in a way, is a strategy, in my opinion, to, they say they're not concerned about AEW, but this was to ensure that AEW doesn't get that share.
Yeah.
Get into those market spots. That's part of it. In terms of buying them, maybe. I know they were for sale. I know Scott D'Amore was trying to buy the company at one point as well. But I mean, Tony Khan had an opportunity to buy it. He didn't want it. Right. So, maybe they will. In terms of coming up to the main roster, I'm not sure. I think maybe later on in the deal, but I think this is going to be strictly more of an NXT TNA kind of crossover thing, right? More or less, right? We might get some of those guys in the Rumble this weekend. That's for me as far as I think it will go. Something really, really special has to happen for one of those guys to come up to the main roster right away.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. What you think, Joe?
Monopolization. That's all it's about, guys. Come on, wrestling is one thing. It's business, and you guys hit the head nail on the head there. They're making sure that they have control of the networks, because guess what? In professional wrestling, if you want to be a major player or a semi-major player, you're going to have those network deals, whether it be streaming or still on cable. And that's exactly what WWE has done. Now, will they purchase TNA? At this point, I think TNA is the cockroach of professional wrestling. I don't think anybody's going to kill it or buy it. But I could be wrong. But I would rather them not. But if they are, keep it like it is. Don't change anything about it. Put Scott D'Amore back in it. That'd be my opinion. Go Team Canada. But yeah, man. Like when I first heard it, I was like, okay, this could be cool. And I immediately thought, well, it's Rumble season, so we're going to get a few surprises. I wouldn't. Now that he has the TNA heavyweight title, I had loved to see Joe Hendry, but I don't think we're going to get that now. I could be wrong, but I don't think we are going to get that. But there's quite a few folks I would see in the Rumble. And I would have to agree that's probably the extent. But wouldn't it be cool to see a TNA invasion?
Maybe at some point, if they can build something up, withstanding, like they got to get their name up. That's the thing. TNA's been around forever, right? I mean, I remember when they had the 6-sided ring. Right. Some great matches have come out of TNA, man. If you look at older TNA, it's probably better than what it was today, in my opinion.
They got styles in WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, if you want to run something with that, that is literally the old school guy aside from Jeff Jarrett, in my opinion.
No, I
That
agree.
is TNA.
And you know what? Maybe there's a program there waiting to happen. Who knows? He's got to come back from injury, right?
Right.
Plus, some of the producers in WWE are ex TNA stars now.
Yeah.
So-
No, 100%. I mean, the potential is there. I think the name TNA has to build up a little bit more. It has to gain a bit more traction with the casual fans. I mean, and that's the problem. Like a lot of the fans, we as a community, for the most part, know who's who, right? Who's coming out, who's not coming out. And when someone new comes out, we're not standing there looking at them like, who's this guy? For the most part, right? Unless you're watching AEW. Right? Like, I'm sorry, man. Who's Big Boom? Like, I've never heard of that guy.
I never heard of me.
Right. There you go. Thank you. And, like, I mean, he's had 2 matches already on the pre-shows. Like, but and his son comes out with him too. I don't know who these guys are. Like, I'm trying really hard. Right. So,
like, what's the story here? Come on now.
Yeah. But no, look, ultimately, I think what we're going to get here is basically, because what WWE is doing, you look at the Reality of Wrestling, which is Booker T's promotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Seth Rollins' kind of wrestling school as well, whatever that in Iowa. I'm not sure what it's called. What they're doing is they're using those as actual breeding grounds as well now, right? So, because, I mean, at the end of the day, WWE has gone in such a direction where the one good thing about AEW, it's a place for guys to go. Because the way WWE recruits now, they go to university, goes to colleges, they're picking up real athletes and bringing them in, right? It's not like the good old days where the indie wrestler got his tryout at a show when they came to your town. The dark match tryout matches. They don't exist per se anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So for a lot of the indie wrestlers that are still taking that path to get to the show, to get to the limelight, these promotions are going to be great for them, for those guys. Right. Ultimately, they don't teach you how to wrestle when you come over. It's all about production and where to look and how to look and where the cameras are going to be. Right. That's what you're learning in NXT per se.
Yeah.
The angles. When you do this particular move, like one of the best things that I saw from the Netflix was when on that opening night when Damien power bombed Finn off the top into the table. The way that was filmed.
Yeah.
We've seen that move a million times, but just the way they presented it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's not much that makes me go, oh, anymore. But that made me go, oh, you know what I mean? It's just like, they have the best production, and that's what people when you go to WWE, that's what you're learning for the most part. Yeah, you got your beginner classes for all the green athletes, but guys that are coming from different directions. You look at AEW, most of those guys didn't know what camera to look at in the first year or two.
Yeah.
Because none of them have ever had that experience, but they're global names. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Right? And even New Japan doesn't shoot that way.
Nah.
So yeah, that's me.
That's what's
I think real quick, I think Triple H has turned all these places, that's their territory system to get them to learn new things and go to different places, learn different styles. Then you come to NXT. Then you, like you said, learn the production, where to look, how to pull the move off properly under their banner. So I agree with you 100%.
Right. I mean, you think of OVW back in the day, that's where everyone used to go. I mean, if you look at it, the Ruthless Aggression era produced the best guys of that generation came out of OVW.
Yes.
That one class was Brock, Batista, Shelton, Cena, Randy Orton, all came out of that class.
Thank God for Jim Cornette.
Man, what?
Right. All right, fellas, let's talk
Pritchard
about
would say, "Fucking shit." Corny's awesome, man.
let's talk about the Royal Rumble. So, you know, it's this Saturday. And I think that I would have to say this is probably one of the first Royal Rumbles that I could think of where I don't know who's going to win. You like in previous Rumbles, you knew Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to win. You knew Cody Rhodes was going to win last year. You knew Roman Reigns or Becky Lynch you knew. But I can honestly say on the men's side and the women's side, you don't know who's going to win. So real quick, Joe, what do you think of the build-up of the Rumble so far?
Oh, sorry. By the way, I'm not drinking alcohol. This is L8, the product Mickey. So,
Oh, go ahead, man. You good? You good?
Because I've probably seen the comment section. Did you drink it? No, it's ale, but it's non-alcoholic ale. But
All good, man.
But you know, the Rumble. Cena said he's going to win it. Punk said he's going to win it. Rollins said he's going to win it. McIntyre. The list goes on and on. I have to agree with you. I don't know who's going to win it. But who needs it is the main question. Who needs a Rumble push? Who can you all see that needs a Rumble push? To me, I think that's a better question because there's a ton. I'm probably going to get scrutinized for this. My opinion, Finn, it's time. It's time for Balor to get back a major title. And, you know, Vince said he couldn't get over. Look what he's doing right now. I honestly think he should ditch a freaking group, go back as a singles wrestler. That's just my opinion. I mean, look at him in New Japan as Prince Devitt. Sure, he was part of Bullet Club, but he kept himself separate from Bullet Club by also being the leader of Bullet Club. That's how they need to book Finn right now. And I'm telling you, if Jey Uso could be a good one too. Bear would disagree with that, but if they can book Finn kind of like how they're doing right now, but elevate it just a little bit like he was in New Japan, have him win that Rumble. I think that would be the elevation to get him there. Now that Priest is on SmackDown, this man has a lot of room to grow, and I want to see that happen. As a fellow Irishman, I want to see that happen.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What you think so far, Sam, about the build-up?
You know, the build-up for the Rumble matches themselves have been great, but the rest of the card is left to one's imagination, in my opinion. You know, we're 5 days away from the Royal Rumble, in essence. We have NXT, which is happening right now. I don't know how much that's going to play into any Rumble stuff. We have SmackDown on Friday. You know, as it stands right now, Rhea doesn't have a match. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Rhea's not defending. Tiffany's not defending. Gunther's not defending. But we get DIY versus, you know, the Motor City Machine Guns, 2-3 out of falls. That's a SmackDown match, man, as Chance would say. Right? That'd be great for SmackDown. Who wants to see that on the Royal Rumble? Right now, that's the bathroom match.
Dude.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's the Royal Rumble, right? Like, considering what else is there that they're offering us 2 Rumble matches and Cody and Kevin. And that's it. So what else are we looking forward to here?
You know what? And I noticed in the past, like WWE, since Triple H is taking over, he's kind of made the match card smaller. But I do agree with what you're saying. Like, it should be more like the Intercontinental title should at least be on the line. One of the women's mid-card titles should be on the line. Or, like you said, the world champion, the women's champion. So, yeah.
When was the last time Shinsuke defended?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good question.
True.
Right? Like, you got all these titles, you got all these potential things that are happening. I think what really happened here is Netflix debut screwed a lot of shit up, man. We got a lot of stuff on that one show that was probably supposed to be saved for Mania or a build up to Mania. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley was supposed to happen at Mania, but they gave it to us on the show, right?
Yeah.
Just to elevate it, to pump it up,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
this is why it's so hard this year to pick anything because we don't know where any of these stories are going,
That's true. That's true.
right? Like, I mean, I've said I made my prediction today. Chance picked Jey Uso because of the popularity of the Yeet movement and all of that and everything. Like, we don't when we were in high school, everybody wore an NWO shirt. Okay. You didn't even have to be a fucking wrestling fan, but everyone was wearing wrestling t-shirts.
Yeah.
When but mind you, that was during the Attitude Era.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fair? Kids don't wear wrestling shirts anymore. But you know what? I've noticed today, Chance has noticed at his kids' school, there is so many Yeet t-shirts all over the place.
Yeah.
So he's predicting Jey Uso. I don't think he's going to win myself. I think it's Seth.
Seth Rollins.
I think so. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the thing. Okay, look. Cena has a different trajectory. Okay, he hasn't been on the program since the Netflix debut. Granted, he's in Hungary right now filming a movie. I understand that. But if you're saying you're coming back full time means to me you're going to be on most programs. So basically, from that one show, he's going to end up at the Rumble.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to win. If Roman wins, what then? Are we going to get part 3?
Yeah.
If Roman wins, then I want to see him fight Gunther.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. This, and like you said, it's gonna be. It's hard to say who's gonna win. There's just so many options, and that's even on the women's side. Like, you don't know who's gonna win on the women's side. With, you got Bianca Belair, Nia Jax, Naomi, Bayley, and that's not even including Charlotte Flair coming back. You got Becky Lynch, possibly Alexa Bliss. What you think, Professor Bear?
Like you said, this is one of the first ones that I can remember where I couldn't call who was going to win. And that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's good for the simple fact now we can't tell where they're going to go with it. So, okay, now we can be a little surprised. We can sit back, chill, and actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I've been sick of the Royal Rumble for quite a while now. And the reason being, everybody who wins the Royal Rumble don't need that win. And I say it like this. Why wouldn't they give Roman a title shot? Why won't they give Seth a title shot? Why won't they give Punk, any of your top guys? They don't need to win the Rumble. They can get one. Hell, Roman could go to Paul. Paul, tell him I'm taking the title shot right now.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing with the Royal Rumble, use it to build up new talent. Get somebody where we wouldn't expect.
Well, look, Shinsuke won that year, and then they dropped the ball of making him lose at Mania.
Exactly. But they did it one time, and look who was in charge then. Give a mid-Carter a chance to build. And I'm not saying that they have to win the title, but it'll help them progress to be a main eventer. That was WWE's biggest issue. With Cody, all you hear, I thought Cody would do more. Well, Cody can't do more when you don't have anybody ready to take him on legitimately. They had to turn Kevin Owens for us to be like, yes.
Well, I mean, you look at it, like if you think about the two programs here, I'm glad you brought that up, Professor. You look at SmackDown now, and you look at SmackDown a year ago, SmackDown was the show.
Oh yeah.
Raw was the secondary program. For the first time in the history of those two programs, the roles were reversed. SmackDown was the show that everybody wanted to be on. SmackDown was the show that everybody was tuning into. Raw was the secondary program at that point. Now with the Netflix deal, they're putting all the eggs back onto Raw, and SmackDown looks like shit again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And that's no fault of anybody, but that's the reality of it. They don't have enough heels.
And the crazy part is, you have people. They put the Judgment Day hitter that him and Finn just kept going at it. Priest.
Yeah.
They put Priest on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think that's a great move
Mhm.
because he gets away from that Judgment Day crap and able to build himself up because he's the closest to a main eventer besides the usual suspects that they have. It will give him a chance to really get deep into his character and grow. But the problem is, how many damn heels do they have to fight him?
Well, I think that's just a problem with the company as a whole.
Yeah.
I would
Right?
turn.
And
That's
yeah.
what I would do. Turn Priest.
you know what,
Yeah.
man? Honestly, I'm looking at this, and we talked about it on our show this morning as well. I mean, dark horse pick for me, Sami Zayn. Just the way they're building a lot of stuff up here with him right now. Like, I don't know what it is about Sammy, but they love giving him good feel-good moments, man. You know, think about it. I mean, he beat Gunther, ended his streak. The year after that, before that, him and Kevin owned, they finished the streak of the Usos,
Yeah.
right? The year before that, poor bastard was caught in a giant mouse trap. So maybe they're paying him back for all that.
Listen,
Right?
that was a funny match, okay?
No, but I'm just saying, you look at what's going on with him. Of all the guys here, like you look at all the storylines right now in WWE, and they all go back to one man, Roman Reigns, and he's not even fighting.
Yeah.
You look at all the stories, they're all connected back to him in some form or the other. That's what makes him so great. The guy doesn't even have to be there, but every story is because of him. Drew's pissed off at everyone for helping him. Kevin's pissed off at everyone for helping him. But the moment Kevin and Sami finally came face to face, because they hadn't seen each other since Survivor Series, right?
Right.
And he was a big part of all that stuff in Survivor Series. I was there, man. I was in the crowd. I saw it. Right? So you look at it, I just have a feeling he accidentally hit Cody. He accidentally ran over Seth. Kevin Owens didn't beat him up. Maybe this is what we're looking for. Maybe this is a shock. Maybe Kevin Owens wins.
Do it seem like that they kind of like getting a faction forming? Do it seem like with Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, maybe Seth Rollins, maybe Sami Zayn? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all get that sense, or maybe it's just me?
No, I'm with you 100%, except for Sammy. I think those three are going to be a faction.
And here's
go ahead.
Here's my thing. Sorry, Brendan, I'm going to interrupt you. I honestly think if you're going to put it on Kevin, let's think about this. If you're going to put the title on Kevin, for one, reimagine, put a W on the Wing Eagle title like we've seen leaked. That title is beautiful. That is the World Championship right there. Leave it be. Two, if you're going to have Sammy win, now is the opportunity to pull a trigger and show people, hey, this is how we built up a rivalry to Mania. And we know those two men gel well together. I know it's probably been done 100 times, but every time it's been entertaining. So if you're going to do that, I would love to see Owens versus Zayn for the WWE Championship at Mania.
I agree with you. And the thing is, this time, because every other time Kevin won, this would be the perfect opportunity to take that mid-carder, because Sammy's a mid-carder, and let him elevate to the main event. And what better way of doing it WrestleMania it against his greatest rival and his greatest friend. And everybody would be, and let Sammy like, yeah, I knew what you were going to do, so I played dumb. I played alone, and bam.
So in that sense, if we're calling the card based on what we're just saying here, the men's rumble would be first. Sammy wins it somehow, and he comes out at the end of the night and causes something to happen that allows Kevin to win. I mean, if we're booking.
Oh yeah, that to me that is great, and you can even let them still continue to play dumb about it.
Well, I mean, this is the beauty of where we're at right now because again, everything's so much up in the air, right? I mean,
Right.
The final boss, what role is he playing in anything? Are they pulling wool over all of us? Are we going to get Roman and him finally? Is that match going to happen at Mania? Right?
I'm going to call this too, Samson. Sorry.
Yeah.
One or two things is going to happen with The Rock. The Rock's going to come out last. He is either going to eliminate Cena. I don't want to see that again. Or he's going to eliminate Roman, causing Roman to lose the Rumble. That's what I think needs to happen.
Well, we've forgotten about Solo Sikoa, man. I mean, he came out once and he hasn't been back since. Well, no, because no, hold on. We still have those guys there too, kicking around, right? I mean, that bad for the look. The biggest thing they didn't want to do was bring Jacob in as soon as they did. They were trying to hold him back as much as possible because, quite frankly, at the end of the day, Jacob is probably more of the leader of the new bloodline than Solo is. And no disrespect to Solo, the way Jacob conducts himself on the mic, and now that they're letting him loose, this guy's amazing. I love watching him.
It's the craziest thing in the world that they saw it coming. They saw he's too good in the ring. He's too good. He's gonna blow past him. And
they signed him and kept him on the shelf for almost 3 to 4 months before they brought him in.
Yeah.
They were afraid because they knew he would take all the attention away from Solo.
And he wasn't even trying. That's the part. He wasn't trying.
I love you, Solo. I mean, that alone made me like, man, this guy's detail.
Man,
I Samoan Paul Heyman.
I know, because I kept saying, you love Solo, I love you. We in a love affair. Let's go.
Right? I mean, again, the Ulafala match, that technically was supposed to be a Mania match.
Yeah.
They gave everything to us in one night, man.
Yeah. So
I think that was just a hard reset, though. Honestly.
No, it was a hard reset. But if you think about it, all the titles changed after that too, right? We got Tiffany as the new champion. We got who else? Rhea took her title back as well. It was almost a reset as well. Look at NXT. Roxanne lost her title as well. Trick lost his title as well, all in that same week.
I know. I'm just gonna say this: Oba Femi, if they hold him down in NXT until next year, that'd be the smartest move, because I promise you, if they continue building him the way they're building him, he's going to be bigger than Goldberg ever was.
Who knows? But I mean, they also where's Omos? Why isn't he around?
Omos has been in Japan.
I
get that. He's doing Japan stuff, and he's being given access and the permission to do so. But the reality is, and again, this is a chance point again. They're not utilizing these big men properly. None of them. But they also kind of screwed the poor guy because Bobby beat him up. Strowman beat him up. So, I mean, what's left?
Seth Rollins beat him up.
Rollins beat him up, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of killed the character already, in my opinion. That's why maybe he's not around as much. Like, I mean, the guy's huge. He should be in a role somewhere.
Yeah. Real quick, fellas. Let's make our predictions. We're gonna do it like this. Give your prediction on the men's side, the women's side, and what surprises that you would like to see in the Rumble. And if you got a dark horse, to win the Rumble.
Yeah, okay.
So I can start with you, Joe.
Men's, that's hard. I kind of want to pull for Sammy since we had this discussion now, because I would love to see him and Owens at Mania. Ladder 1500. Jeez, I'd love to see a ladder match between those two at Mania. Could you imagine that ladder war type match at Mania? Oh my goodness gracious!
Two good Canadian boys.
Oh yeah. Leave it to the Canadian wanting the Canadians to. I'm kidding.
We don't got much, brother.
Well, hey, you got Brett.
He complains too much. God bless him. God, Ric Flair and Bret Hart live their character.
Fair point. You got.
They can't distinct. They're stuck in kayfabe world, man.
You got me there. Women's. I know she just recently signed. I think Jordan Grace would be kind of cool. She's already got that. What's that thing? That
familiarity.
So, keep it going, man. Let her. She don't have to win at Mania. Kind of cool to see her win at the Rumble, and I would love to see her and Rhea go at it at Mania. That would be a good Mania match. Dark surprises. I like to see The Rock. I don't know too many legends that will be able to do it. That would be recognizable. That would be able to actually compete. Joe Hendry would be. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be kind of cool. I think him as number 2 would be awesome. Because imagine get someone like The Miz or something, go out there. It's not like we have Joe Hendry come and then his music hits.
Hey, I think they'd go crazy. They
would
go crazy.
That would be cool. Out. So that would be kind of fun. Women's, there's a lot of legendary women's wrestlers. We'll probably see Mickie James do it. I know we see her times. We'll probably see her come back. Rosemary would be a good one since the WWE TNA deal. Rosemary, I would love to see her as a surprise entrant in the Rumble. So those would be mine.
That's what's up. Who you got, Sam?
Well, like I said, I gotta stick with my choice because I've already made it, and I already published the episode, so I can't really go back on my pick now. I'm gonna stick with Seth Rollins. I just feel that, I think Seth winning, you got something there with Gunther. I think that would be a great match. My dark horse, I'm gonna go with Sammy. If anyone outside of the big 5 names that are in there, it's going to probably be Sammy, just the way they're building it, or they're just doing a great job of fooling me. But, I think Sammy could be that dark horse guy. On the women's side, no one said it, but I think Charlotte's going to win.
Breathe, Bear. Breathe.
I think Charlotte winning, you have 2 potentially amazing matches at Mania. That rematch with Rhea will be phenomenal. Okay. That match they had at 39, in my opinion, and I said it and I'll say it again, was probably the best match of night 1 of that show. Those girls surprised the tar out of me, man. They put on a match that was amazing. They went hard. They went Japanese hard style against each other. They didn't hold anything back, right? The other side of that, Charlotte wins. She goes after Tiffy, which is a younger version of what she used to be. That would be a phenomenal match as well.
Yeah.
On either front. And they're promoting her as a SmackDown wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So I can almost, and Charlotte hasn't been around for a long time.
Yeah.
She's been out of the scene for a long time. Even with Becky coming back, which she probably will. She doesn't need it. She doesn't need the rub. She's elevated herself to a point. And even Charlotte, they don't need the title to be who they are.
Right.
Right? if you're gonna give it to anyone, those are the two ones because everyone else under them, in my opinion, Bianca, I think she has a feud built in. It's gonna happen. Jade Cargill is gonna make her appearance at the Rumble. In my opinion, she's gonna come back. Bianca's gonna turn heel. You see the little details now. She's wearing a gold grill. She never wore that before, right? So the little details are starting to emerge. She hit Naomi with her hair by accident, right? I mean, the little details are here. We're seeing it. Jade and Bianca have to be a Mania match,
Oh yeah, definitely.
right? So that takes her out of the equation.
Right.
If Alexa Bliss signs this week, she should be a surprise entrance. The only thing separating them right now is money. She wants more,
Yeah. I was reading that too.
right? So it really, in my opinion, comes down to Becky and it comes down to Charlotte at the end of the day. And I think Charlotte's going to be the one, and either direction that she goes in, I know you're going to get a crack over a match against Rhea, and I'm excited to see what her and Tiffany can do.
Now, speaking of Charlotte, if she don't watch herself, people's going to believe in the theory about Charlotte Flair like they believe Ultimate Warrior if she keeps having plastic surgery.
Yeah, because I was looking at that promo and she did on Friday, and she looked different. She looked like
she looked very different, right?
Yeah, it's like oh my god, it's they replaced her.
No, dude, she just looks like her nose is different. Everything about her looks different. You know, I mean, but that's where I'm going in terms of a dark horse on the women's side. You know what? Liv Morgan. And the reason I say Liv, because Liv has been the runner-up the last 2 years. He's legit being the last lady to be thrown out in 2 years in a row.
Yeah. But do you see her going up against Rhea at Mania again?
But that was the match that was supposed to happen in the first place.
I mean,
that was the arc that they were going in, right? But who knows, man? Right? But like I said, even with whoever wins the Royal Rumble, this company has shown me that they can change things on a dime.
That's true.
Right?
They can always have a match for the WrestleMania.
Not even that. Seth can win. Seth can win, challenge Gunther, and guess what? Somehow Punk has gotten himself into the match.
Yeah.
Now you have a triple threat.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So you look at Becky when she won, it was supposed to be 1-on-1 against Ronda. How did it become a triple threat? I can't remember the storyline, but things can change on the fly, man. Everything that we know to be true or what we think right now today will be very different in 2 weeks' time.
I mean, look at the Ray, Orton, and Angle match at Mania 22.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And, you got to think about John Cena. Where does he fit in? Who's he going to compete up against? You still have Elimination Chamber still to come. There's so much still to happen before even Mania is even here. And Mania is later in April, too. For the first time, we're getting Mania at the end of the month opposed to my birthday.
Yeah.
Right? That was the one thing I loved about Mania. It was always around my birthday. So it was always an exciting thing for me.
Because I think they're doing it now because they don't want to interfere with the NCAA tournament. Because I think when they had it last year, it was the weekend of one of the Sweet 16 or whatever. So
I'm going to disagree with you, Mike.
Huh?
I'm going to disagree with you. The reason they're holding it in Vegas on those particular dates, because that's the slowest weekend in Vegas, Easter Sunday.
Shit. I didn't even realize it was Easter.
I didn't realize that either.
Nothing goes on per se outside of their house shows or whatever they have there already. Think about it. Go back and check the history. Nothing major ever happens in Vegas on that weekend. It's the quietest weekend in Vegas per se.
I never knew that because the only reason why I said that because that was the reason because remember when the Royal Rumble will always be the Sunday of the conference championships and then they changed it to like the week after the conference championships. So that's why I thought because I did read something that they didn't want to interfere with the tournament or whatever, but that does make sense with that Easter weekend.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it because nothing's there. Nothing's happening per se. You're gonna get your resident performers still performing. Adele will still probably do her shows, whatever the case may be. Whoever is doing the residencies, you're going to get that, but you're not getting any major events per se. They have Vegas completely to themselves, to the point where AEW's pulled their shows out of there.
Yep.
Wow.
Right? Tony Khan has gone as far as to say that AEW wrestlers cannot participate in on any indie cards that are happening WrestleMania weekend.
And that's crazy.
Right?
Well, my bad. Professor Bear, give your predictions real quick.
So I want to say Sammy as a dark horse because it's just everybody's doing it. But actually, my other dark horse, and y'all gonna call me crazy, but I still think it'd be funny. Let Dom win it.
Oh God.
Let Dom win it.
Bro.
I'm just saying. But what's going on, Rusty?
What's up, Rusty?
I think, and I hate to even say this one truthfully, but I think Punk's gonna win it because Punk's never won it, and they want to give him the main event at WrestleMania, so that's the way to do that. Even though I think it's stupid. On the women's side, I think Io Sky may win it.
Ooh.
I really do.
I forgot about
She's been doing a lot of nice work and everything. As a dark horse, I would probably go, and I hate to even say this, but Charlotte Flair, because her and Tiffy are going to wrestle at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they're going to make that happen some way, somehow.
Yeah, and I think it'd be easier to let Io win. And you have to realize, too, the women hadn't had two person win it twice yet. And Charlotte always get everything, so her name goes in the record book. So,
well, I mean, it's just that's what makes this one really fun. I feel like a kid again, man. I feel like I mean, not to age myself, but me and the professor are on the same side of the fence in terms of how far back we go in terms of watching wrestling. And the one thing that I love about this particular pay-per-view, all we do is watch wrestling, all we do is talk wrestling, all we do is this. So we, in a way, it almost sucks for us. I don't need to read the dirt sheets to predict every card. This is fun. It's almost like being a kid again, where we don't know. Right? Anything can particularly happen here, right? And then in terms of surprises, I forgot to mention this one. Brock. He's in Minneapolis. It's his hometown. They've been talking about him. Vince is cleared. There's no reason to see why he wouldn't come back. I'm just saying, right? And as far as you were saying earlier, Joe Henry being world champion, well, Jordan Grace was women's champion for TNA when she was in the Rumble last year.
Well, I was about to say, and Mickey was TNA champion when she did it.
Right? They brought in Roxanne Perez when she was NXT champion. I mean, it's not necessarily to say any of these women are going to win it that way, but champions do emerge on there, right? So from different organizations.
And I can even see them bringing in the current Knockouts champion for the Women's Royal Rumble, Masha Slamovich or something. Yeah. She was on NXT a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah, right. And her and the other girl got a problem with each other.
Cora Jade.
So I can see Cora Jade being in there. And Slamovich come in.
A lot of the surprises are probably going to be from TNA or NXT, right? I mean, I think we've gotten past the stage when the surprises were Brutus Beefcake, were I'm just saying, like, think about it. When we were, Roddy Piper that one year, Booker T coming out, Kevin Nash coming back as Diesel. I mean, most of those guys are too old now to move. Yeah. Correct. Right. So we don't. That's why in the last few years we haven't seen a lot of nostalgia acts anymore because they're all old. They're too old now.
Well, so the women's can still do it.
Yeah,
which is
I
interesting,
agree.
right? I mean, but how many times do we want to see Kelly come back?
Right, because hey,
I'm just saying.
Undertaker might come after me, but Michelle Cool, sit your ass down and stay out of it.
You know who I want to see come back, and I don't know why she hasn't. Layla.
Yeah,
Where's Layla? Why is she not in the Hall of Fame?
Probably.
Right? I mean,
that's a whole different story there.
dude. Without Layla, there would be no Michelle McCool.
No, I agree with you.
She
But
was
I'm just,
the charisma. She was the personality of that group.
but she wasn't the Undertaker's girlfriend.
No. I appreciate that. But you know what? Ultimately, at the end of the day, like I said, this is a really, really fun weekend. Now, I'm just more interested in what other matches are we going to get?
Right.
And are we predicting who's going to win the other matches?
Real quick, about to answer Rusty's question. He said, do you think we will have 15 WWE, 5 TNA, 5 NXT, 5 surprises? I think it's going to be at least 2 TNA wrestlers on the men's and the women's side. That's what I think.
I agree.
I could see maybe 1 or 2 from NXT on the men's and women's side, but I think it's mainly going to be all WWE. At least 2 TNA, at least 2 NXT. So I'm gonna give my predictions real quick.
Yeah.
For the men's, I'm gonna go with Roman. I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns. For the women, I'm gonna go with Naomi. Dark horse for the men, I'm gonna go Jey Uso. I'm gonna go Jey Uso or Jacob Fatu. I don't think Jacob Fatu is gonna win for real. But hey, I think he's gonna be the star for 2025 in WWE. And on the women's dark horse, I'm gonna go with I'll probably go with Io Sky. Sky.
I don't know. I think from TNA, I think from the guy side, you'll probably get Joe Henry. And I would love to see Mustafa Ali.
Ooh,
Mustafa Ali. I would like to see Joe Henry, and I would like to see Nick Nemeth come back.
Hey, what about the Hardys?
Yeah,
you
the
got
Hardys,
two Hardy brothers there.
The Hardys too. Yeah.
And one thing I'm surprised that nobody said on the women's side, Chelsea freaking Green. How over is she?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
She's from our backyard too.
Yeah.
Oh, she got her paperwork. She's official American now.
No, fine. You can have her. That's fine. I mean, you guys can take her. We trade you Chelsea Green for Io. No, she's Japanese.
I'll show about to take that deal too.
No, Chelsea's actually from Victoria, which is about an hour away from where I am.
Oh, okay.
She lives on the island. You have to take a ferry that way.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Fellas, I want to thank y'all for joining me. But real quick, before we get up out of here, Joe, you said you wanted to make an announcement. So the floor is yours.
Thanks, Mike. So it's going to be hard. With a lot of personal stuff going on, I mentioned my biological father passing, just a lot of things happening for personal reasons. I know I promised 2025 would be my last full year. But with things arising personally, I'm going to have to cut it extremely short. That being said, February 15th in Corbin, Kentucky, at the Lane Camp Baptist Church, Joe Monroe will have his final match in professional wrestling. And I know we got a lot of things planned. WSN is wanting to do a documentary, which I would still love to do. But very hard decision. Not to say I won't be around wrestling. I'm still going to be helping out that company because they do a lot of charity work. I appreciate everything they do. But this is something that it was hard to do, and it was the discussion I was having with my mother, and I was like, Mom, a lot of people are saying I wrestled one of my best matches in that triple threat. I was like, I don't think that's right, but I think I can pull one more like that. And the fact that and then I thought that, I was thinking, I got a lot of things coming down, and I just want to. I hate to say it like this. I mean, I think it's just it feels right to me. I want to end it my way. I've always said that, and I know it's just 2 months in, but things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The time I have left, I want to be my time. And that being said, the next question is probably going to be, who would be my last opponent? Who would I love to be my last opponent? There's so many on that list. Fiji Wildman, Repic, Tank Evans. There's a lot of guys back there that I would love to have my last match with, but there's only one that can do it. And he used to be the one. And now he's the modern day Viking. And Professor Bear knows who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one, Colt Wilds. Why Colt? For one, he's family. For two, if I'm going to go out, I want to have the most hardest hitting match I've ever had in my life. And I guarantee you, if you want to see something hard hitting, that guy is probably the guy to do it. So, yeah, you know what, Colt? I am kind of calling you out, bud. It's time. Let's see who's best. Since we were kids, we've always wanted to do this. This was our passion. This is something we set out to do. And if Mike Murphy, I hope he can hear me. I know you probably got plans for him, and I'm sorry to bring it last minute. But if I want that last match to happen, it's got to be against Colt. I want to prove myself. That's the only thing I set myself out to do, is prove myself. And that last person I need to prove is him. Because he is the toughest, no offense to Fiji or anybody else back there. He is the toughest person that I know. And that is going to be the best match I ever have in my life. If I have to give everything else I have left in me, what little I do have left in me, I'm leaving it on February 15th. And I would love to leave it out with Colt. I don't care what kind of match it is. It can be a regular match. It can be whatever. But I want to guarantee you that crowd's going to be on their feet each and every step of the way of that match. And I will guarantee you at the end of it, they're going to applaud not only Colt, they're going to applaud myself.
Mm.
I want to leave it all out. This is it. I know people are saying, oh, he said this before. Well, it's serious. This is me. Every ounce of aggravation, every ounce of bullcrap that has come my way within the past month. To me, wrestling is a demon. And I know I shouldn't look at it that way, but it is. This is me fighting it off once and for all and being at peace for the last time.
That's what's up, man. And good luck with everything, man. Good luck with your last match.
Please send us the link and let us know where we can watch this, man.
Yeah.
Please.
If you anything you got, if you need us to share it out for you, we'll definitely do that for you, man.
For sure.
Joe, you know I was there the last match. I'm going to be there this match.
Thank you, my brother.
I'd come, brother, but it's far.
I can't pay airfare, brother. I'm sorry. Rusty asked. He goes, "Does airfare be included?" Because we're doing a giveaway for the show for the VIP meet and greet. And Rusty had to comment that. He goes, "Is airfare and travel included?" It's not.
Look, tell Rusty, if you can get to Knoxville, you more than happy to ride with me.
There you go, Rusty. But yeah, guys, I don't want to play I don't want to play the bad guy that I have been playing. People were loving it. As Bear would put it, I'm the heel after his own heart. But But I just
Kayfabe aside, heels are usually the sweetest guys.
yeah.
Well, with him, no, but
Yeah. But I don't want to wrestle as Joe Monroe this match. I want to wrestle as Will Stevens for once.
Cool.
And that's who people's going to see for the first time.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, fellas, once again, I want to thank y'all for.
Sorry, man. Can I just ask one question, all y'all?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, you're 3 hours ahead of me. What time is it in Tennessee?
it is 9:36.
So you're 3 hours ahead of me, and Kentucky?
Same. 3 hours ahead.
Same. So you guys are all 3 hours ahead of me. What do you guys feel about this 6 p.m. starting shit?
And you know what?
Well,
man? You
real quickly
about that for Survivor Series too, right?
It's
yeah.
up for us, man. On the West Coast, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
What? And I was just about to ask you, were you on the West? So, the only reason I like it because it's earlier and I still can watch other things.
No, it's great for you guys. Absolutely. You can have your dinner and stuff, this and that. I might have to go and fly a kite with the kid. You know what I mean? It's just right in the middle of the afternoon. Like, I don't understand why they're doing this to us. Like, it's weird because most pay-per-views would start here at 4 p.m. for the most part, right? Then they moved to 5, which I thought was great. Now this 3 o'clock stuff is just nonsense, man. The only benefit of living on the West Coast from a Super Bowl perspective is this. When the game's over, I can still go do stuff. You guys just go to bed.
Right.
Right? UFC ends at 10 o'clock for me. It ends at like 2 o'clock in the morning for you guys.
Yeah.
So for the most part, West Coast time is beautiful, but this 3 o'clock start, it makes no sense because the last time they did it was TKO did it so it wouldn't run past with the UFC show that night.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But the UFC show is happening at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Saudi Arabia.
Wow, that's crazy.
So for myself, this is my Saturday. I start with UFC. I go into the Royal Rumble, and the only benefit of having this card end at 6 o'clock, it slides perfectly right into the David Benavidez card.
Hey, you're gonna have a nice Saturday night, Saturday period.
I'm lucky. You know what? I'm very blessed that I have. I'm in a situation by where I'm alone that day, and I can sit there and watch all this stuff all day. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I get to watch stuff and report about it. I mean, life is great.
Right.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Sorry,
Real quick before we get up out of here, fellas, let y'all give out y'all shout outs and plug y'all platforms. Start with you, Professor Bear.
The Wrestling Society Network. You can find me on Facebook because I'm that old guy. I don't do nothing else but Facebook. Check us out on our website, thewrestlingsociety.com. Man, we got a lot of things, new things coming your way. Merch, possibly Joe's last match. I don't know, but we're gonna work on that. And just like I always say, thank you. If it wasn't for you all, there would be no me. So thank you.
That's what's
guys,
up.
you can find us at Samp and Chance on YouTube, at Samp and Chance, SAMPANDCHANCE. There you can get all our links as well on Instagram, TikTok. Do you guys have TikTok anymore?
Yeah, we get
You got it back?
Yeah, we got it back.
Yeah,
It's like
okay.
a relationship with an ex. It comes in and it comes. You never know when it's.
Okay. Oh, you know what? They've kept it here for us on Twitter as well. Samp and Chance. We're everywhere. Please like and subscribe our channel, guys. I'd love to be a guest on your guys' show as well. And vice versa. Let's do this again. I've just had so much fun here tonight, man. Totally. Thank you, Mike and Joe and Professor, for allowing me to be a part of this. The good old Canadian boy here, man. you know. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Joe, you got any shout outs, got any plugs?
Well, for one, someone put up earlier the number one podcast in Kentucky. Until me and him or any of our shows get to the Cornette numbers, we can't say that. Sorry, bro, but we can't. I know he's in Louisville, but he's still in Kentucky. But you know, you can find the Joe Monroe Show on Facebook, YouTube. Surprisingly, the YouTube channel is picking up a little bit. I haven't posted on there much, but it's shocking. I'm working with WSN now. Actually, Bear, since the notorious ATB's on here, would you like to announce what show I'll be producing tomorrow?
You will be producing a Bear's Thought.
Okay.
Exactly. I am now going to be over production over a Bear's Thought. First show is going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting. Actually, I think it's just going to be fun. So we're going to have a great time, as always, with Bear. Actually, I may let Mark like the 15 sheets. Touche.
Look, you can have the comedy when you're on my show. Stop interrupting.
No, that was good though. I got to give him that. That was good. If he keeps it up, I'm letting Mark produce tomorrow. But no, I don't want that. I don't want that. God, you don't want that idiot producing anything. I swear that's a wig. But yeah, just producing, helping out with WSN, helping it grow. I announced they're doing a documentary on me. God knows why. I know Bear wants to beat the crap out of me every time I ask that, but Bear and Brady Owens is like, we're doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Oh God. But yeah, it's gonna be a great ride. We still got a lot of stuff planned for 2025. And February 15th, Corbin, Kentucky, Lynn Camp Baptist. If you guys ain't doing anything, I would love for everybody to show up. All the benefits are going to the Lynn Camp Baptist Church. There's actually we're doing a giveaway right now on the show, 2 free VIP tickets on Mark's dime. He gave me the X amount of dollars, $40, whatever it was, back out of the show's budget. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. So if you can, go ahead, go to the Joe Monroe Show, follow what you guys got to do, and see if you can win a couple of tickets. We'll be announcing that next week. Next Friday, actually, on our show.
Any of y'all planning on going down for Mania?
Indeed.
Only big show I can afford is All In.
Fair play. I mean, I'm not trying. I'm going to try to get down there because for me, that's a quick flight. But the flight is probably the cheapest part of the whole thing. Right. So I don't know if we're going to get into Mania, but we're going to try to go down. But also in that month, Inoue might be fighting in Vegas for the first time. So if that's the case, we might actually try to go for that instead. I don't know yet, but I mean, they've made everything really, really difficult for the common fan now, right? Survivor Series for myself, my daughter, and my wife, it was about $1,200 just to get in.
Oh, almost hit the Red Fox. That was almost a big one for real.
Mania right now for both days, if you want a seat, you're looking at about $1,500 US, right? Which is about 2,300 Canadian. Then you have to throw in your flights and your hotel.
Yeah.
And if I'm going and then I want to go to the Hall of Fame, I want to go to SmackDown, and I want to go to Raw too, right?
Right.
So that whole weekend alone, tickets alone will probably cost an average about $33,000 per person.
Man.
I hope my wife's not watching.
They need to give us coupons or something.
Let me say this, in all due respect, WWE can kiss my ass.
It's not even WWE, man. You know what it is? It is TKO. It's Emmanuel. It's Ari Emanuel trying to recoup his investment. That's all it is. He doesn't care. Again, here's another example of why we should miss Vince McMahon. because he geared everything towards family. Dude, I went to WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix. My ticket was $30.
Mm.
He made it affordable for families because he knew it was a family product, right? Yeah, granted, bra and panty matches, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But he always geared it towards families. Ari Emanuel doesn't give a shit about anybody. All he cares about is recouping his investment.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys have ever gone to a UFC live. When it was here in Vancouver and it was the shittiest card that they could put on the table, tickets were $450 for the upper bowl.
Man, I can get into a fight cheaper than that and get the hospital pay.
Dude, I'm just saying, it's horrible, right? The house shows even, they're just gouging people now.
Man.
Man, that's crazy, man.
The crowd at WrestleMania are people that aren't even wrestling fans, like fans at the Super Bowl aren't really the team's football fans.
Yeah,
It's just people who have the money, right? Like if Detroit, sorry, brother, I don't mean to bring it up like that, but if Detroit had actually done its job and got there, right? Hey, I'm gonna throw shade on that, bro, because you guys even had a fucking bye.
Hey, but sometimes those bye weeks aren't always a good thing. Like,
right.
Yeah, man, that just hurt my feelings right there.
What a horrible Super Bowl.
I still love my Lions, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, dude, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm in the worst position possible because my best friend's a Broncos fan, so there's no way in hell I can cheer for KC.
Yeah,
right? I'm a Steelers fan from the day I was born. No way I can cheer for Philadelphia.
See, now look, I was waiting till the podcast was over. I was gonna invite you to the show. Now you want to pull that Steeler crap. You don't do that to a Dallas fan. You don't do it.
Bro, understand. I'm a legit Steelers fan. When I was 8 years old, and you know what? Because you and I are the same age, you can remember this. The Joe Mean Green commercial with the Coke.
Yes, I do.
I didn't know who the Steelers were until I saw that commercial. And I thought, man, this guy's so nice. He gave that kid a Coke. Okay, that's all I saw. That's all I saw was this big, mean guy giving this little kid a Coke. Listen. And then by chance, the next weekend, I saw the Steelers on TV and said, oh, shit, they're a real team. I'm going to support them.
Listen, Bear is so old, he's seen Lou Thez win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, all right?
I'm just, hey, look, and might have caught the towel when he threw it. I'm not going to say no or yes.
Well, brother,
I'm
man,
never going to confirm or deny.
I'm so old. I'm so old that I used to watch Rockin' Wrestling.
I'm so old. I remember when Ric Flair was 200 and something pounds.
Okay, fair play. I'm so old that I used to be the remote control for the TV.
I'm so old, I still am the remote for the TV because my mama would tell me go turn the damn TV.
I'm so old that whenever I hear MASH, I think it's bedtime. Whenever the intro to MASH or Taxi comes on, I think, oh shit, is it bedtime?
I'm so old. I remember BJ and the Bear, and nobody even know who the hell I'm talking about.
I'm so old that I remember BJ and the Bear, and I also remember that Tom and Jerry shit used to happen on that cartoon, not like it does today. Right? They've edited Tom and Jerry.
Oh my god!
They've edited Tom and Jerry,
which is so disappointing and
dude,
heartbreaking.
I was trying to introduce it to my daughter, like, hey, you know what? Forget all this, Paw Patrol and all that nonsense. Watch Tom and Jerry. This is real cartoon. And I put on the classic one where Tom ran into the bird wash and it fell on his head. And I'm not being disrespectful to any cultures, but it played the Oriental music and whatnot. They edited it.
Of course.
And I'm like, wait, whoa, you can't edit that?
They do, man. Look, we're gonna have to keep this up on my show.
I would love to come on. Man.
We will get this.
I gotta produce this stuff.
Hey, y'all are hilarious, but man, I thank y'all for taking the time out.
Thank you for facilitating.
Talking wrestling, talking this Royal Rumble week. I appreciate you all. And follow me on YouTube, subscribe on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and
Keep those numbers rising, people.
Yes, sir.
Mike
Yes,
is
sir.
doing
Sir,
great.
you
He
see my
keeps
Lucha mask?
supporting.
You see
Thank
the
you,
Lucha
thank
mask
you.
on my wall?
Huh?
The Steelers Lucha mask?
Yeah, I see that.
There you go.
I would put up Dallas something, but hell, it's been so long that since they won something, I don't have anything.
Honestly,
Hey,
man,
we want-
Mexico. When you go to
we
Mexico, you can get all that stuff.
You wanted to say something,
Bear,
Joe?
we want viewers on the show, okay? So we don't need no Dallas Cowboys bullcrap. I'm talking about you, Blade. So no. Oh wait, no, that's the Giants. My bad. My bad.
We about to get up out of here. So for my guests, Joe Monroe, Sam, Professor Bear, I am Mike D. This is Wrestling from the 313 Live, and we are out. Peace.